Get Into Geek. This is episode 132. We are talking Stargate SG-1. The full Get Into Geek team is here. My name's Mitch. Joining me, Matty.
Yow.
Brendan.
Hello.
And Rhys.
G'day, guys.
Rhys, if you are joining us for the first time, is our first-time viewer watching each episode for the very first time. One episode per week. The rest of us, we love Stargate and have for the last 20-odd years. We've finally gotten Rhys into it, and he's giving us his thoughts as a first-time viewer each and every week on the podcast. We are talking about the second-last episode of Season 6 today, Prophecy. We will get
Some would
into...
say the penultimate, Mitch.
Well, and I usually would, because I love the
some
shit
wouldn't.
out of that word. The penultimate synopsis of Season 6 would read... On a routine mission, SG-1 encounters a civilization desperate to be freed from the clutches of a Goa'uld. While on the planet, Jonas falls ill and is suspended from active duty. His mysterious illness is diagnosed as a brain tumor, but gives him the unbelievable ability to glimpse the future. A future where O'Neill and SG-1 are walking into a trap.
What is that's a new one.
That's from my favourite show at the moment, Archer.
Ah, nice.
I thought you were going to say Rick and Morty.
Yeah, you've been all over that, mate.
It's your second viewing.
You've watched Rick and Morty more than I have.
I've watched it. I've seen every episode of Rick and Morty at least 3 times, and I still don't get the fascination.
Why are you watching it? It's so insane.
He's hoping someday it'll just
I'm
click.
hoping it'll click one day. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand.
We keep telling you need to have an alcohol dependency.
You guys need to watch Archer because there
legitimately.
is way more alcohol dependency humour in Archer than there is in Rick and Morty.
Yeah, but it's not like you're watching someone drinking and, oh, yeah, he drinks. And no, it's the underlying psychological factor of
Trust me.
alcohol dependency.
Watch Archer. Watch Archer.
Couldn't be bothered.
Could you be bothered watching Prophecy, Rhys? Because
I'm gonna
we
go
teased...
do a Mitch and just not watch it on purpose now, like Galaxy Quest.
Mitch, you should watch it.
Galaxy Quest, is it good?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll probably watch it then.
Yeah, give it a watch, mate.
I own it. I was just waiting for a good excuse. That's a lie. I don't. Could have bought it on the cheap the other week, and I'm like, nah, not worth it.
Screw
You can
it.
just loan you my copy, mate.
Is it Blu-ray? Nah, I'm not going to bother.
I don't think the production company bothered to release it on Blu-ray
I
either,
don't
mate.
think they did. It's a
They
shame.
did. No, it's on sale all the time at JB Hi-Fi. Like, I could
there
pick
you
it
go.
up.
They're trying to get rid of that one copy and no one will buy it.
Come on, Mitch.
Oh.
Buy 2, get 1 free, buddy.
Hey, look, if JB give me a free Blu-ray player, I'll buy it.
JB, just give me anything. Gotta love that shop. Rhys, Prophecy, what'd you think, buddy? Jonas episode.
Yeah, look.
Oh, good start.
Love Jonas. Bit of a weird episode, to be honest. Just sort of reusing an idea of an episode not too long ago. It was pretty cool that he could see into the future and the way they played it off, but
Was it, though?
yeah. No, look, I don't want to badmouth Jonas, but it's not his fault.
No, he's a victim of bad writing again.
Yeah, as he has been this whole season.
Yep.
Yeah, look, it is. Yeah, it is.
I find it
It's
most
garbage.
annoying because he had so many kind of precog or prophecies, but only one was useful.
Yeah.
And it was kind of thrown out that it fucked it up. But it's it turns out there was a horn in O'Neill. Saw the ambush, so
Hammond radioed
Fun.
radioed
bit
him.
of fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
They
And
won by technicality.
Yeah.
Joe and,
Gotcha.
Really, Hammond was the one that saved the day.
Yeah, you're right.
Joe and Paul in the audio commentary say that they think this is the best episode they wrote this season.
Probably.
I
But
mean-
it did write disclosure.
I mean,
Just-
the bar's pretty low.
Just to run down,
There's
though,
no world record there in high jump.
just to run down in order, they wrote Descent. That was a pretty solid episode.
Oh, yeah, that was
Descent
alright.
This is from top to bottom.
top to bottom. This is
Right.
from the
From the
start of the
to
season.
finish.
Then they had a bit of a lull and wrote Nightwalkers and Shadow Play.
Nightwalker's
So-
the one with the Goa'uld.
Was that this season?
Juniors.
That's this-
Oh, geez, that seems
Jonas
like
set.
such a long time
Oh,
ago.
Shadow Play was Jonas. and
Crazy-
his old,
Crazy from
old
Naquadar.
man. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then they wrote Prometheus. Picked up a little bit. Prometheus was okay, except for the camera crew taking over Prometheus.
Jack O'Neill didn't like it.
Yeah,
I mean,
RDA
RDA hated it.
Then they had Smoke and Mirrors with the foothold holographic device. That was a pretty solid ep. We all enjoyed
What one
Smoke
was
and
that?
Mirrors.
Oh, the sniper one.
The sniper where Jack
where they
sniped
changed
Kinsey and
Yeah,
That was
right.
pretty
That was
good.
pretty cool.
then they had Disclosure, which was
Yeah.
all the
Politics
2.0. which hurts me to say that.
Does it?
And
Exactly the same.
apparently,
Said this one's better.
It's got thought.
apparently, Joe and Paul think they ended on a high with prophecy.
Wouldn't have thought
They
so.
didn't.
Wouldn't have thought so, guys.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like me telling myself I'm a good person. Like, it's just wishful thinking.
I've been good this year. No, you haven't.
You really
could have
haven't.
been better.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got good intentions.
Yeah.
It keeps me not killing
I
myself.
believe in being good.
apparently-
Maybe they,
um,
they wrote like part of it was an Earthbound episode which they love, but it was also on another planet, so then therefore it must be better. So that's why they think it's good.
Well,
I don't know.
I think even over in the UK, you're right. They didn't even think it was much because on Sky One, when it premiered originally, it didn't even get its own night. They played this and next week's episode back to back.
Really?
They were just like, let's just
As
get
new episodes.
as new episodes. They went, let's just get this thing out of the way.
Is that
and
because
then
it was the
we'll
end
play
of the season?
The end of, yeah, so they played this and next week's episode
Yeah.
as a whole.
Because
two-parter.
Origin was on the next week, probably.
They're
Well, this got
gonna
a
need
7.9 in IMDb.
I don't understand
get
it.
it.
Eh?
Joe and Paul
It's,
each voted.
Yeah, there's only
And
two
their
votes.
mums.
And Will
and their mums, and it's still
Yeah.
7.9.
and the director,
not
what's
even
his
10.
name? Will Waring.
Will Waring. Now,
He
this is-
directed Meridian,
yeah.
which is weird because we liked those transitions between
I love that
Daniel
episode.
dying. This is the Daniel death episode.
Yeah.
One where he died and he's going to Ascension. We liked those kind of transitions.
Well, here's the thing. So I alluded to this maybe last week or the week before. It was Changeling, and I said how Chris Judge really lucked out in the fact that he got Martin Wood to direct Changeling, and Martin Wood's expertise really, really helped with this. Will Waring, I think, was just a bit out of his depth because I think Corin Nemec gave a really good performance here.
Yeah.
The camera just wasn't up in his face enough because what he was doing was really nuanced. It was all in his eyes, and we never got those really close sort of shots of
Yeah,
him
there's
doing
only
his
a couple
stuff.
at the end in the bed.
Yeah, and then the other thing that happened is this episode was short. So that whole the operating scene right at the end was intercut between, O'Neill and Teal'c on the
Yeah,
Yeah,
planet.
it
right.
dragged for
All
a
that
long
stuff.
time.
If you notice, you didn't see Corin in that at all.
Too
Because
expensive.
no, that was shot after the season had wrapped. Corin was back home in Texas.
What?
Right.
Spoiler alert.
The DP, well, no, it was in between. It was in between series breaks, so everyone had left. All the
Right.
directors had gone. All the directors of photography had all gone. It's only because Terrell was a Vancouver native that she was there to do that scene, and they wheeled in that.
Wait. She is a Vancouver native, or she's a Vancouver?
yeah,
Probably both.
Right.
native Canadian. You know
And
what I mean?
that's why they got.
Indigenous Canadian.
That's why they got that other neurobrain scientist doctor chick
Yeah,
to do
right.
that. So,
That's so weird. It's
they
very
weren't even-
unhygienic to do brain surgery.
yeah, and she had no
middle of the
magnifying
SGC.
stuff. It's like she could just see his brain just with her normal eyes. She had no magnifying thing there
Yeah.
anywhere. And yeah, they weren't even operating on Corin. That was just a stand-in, just lying there. Like
They
that
didn't even
wasn't
shave
him.
his head, for God's sakes.
I thought a lot of there was a heap of prophecy when at the end battle in the prophecy battle because they had two, and there was just a lot of zap firing that was unnecessary.
Nothing made sense. Nothing made sense in that.
I mean, I was trying to finish watching this before I came here. Maybe I was like, hurry up.
Yeah.
But that was the main reason.
If you watch
It's long.
the first prophecy of the attack in the gate room where we see Walter and Hammond eat it.
Yeah.
So we see that, then Jonas says, okay, if I kill no Reem, maybe I can really focus on what's going on. And then he's able to
He just
see...
wants to be Teal'c, doesn't
Yeah.
Yeah, when he says, "Oh, this works for Teal'c," and I'm like, "He's not, is he? What?
Yeah.
What?
he? Yeah.
Did you
No,
just
hang
steal
on, I
his...
missed something.
Like
Oh,
some
yeah.
incense.
Symbiote in the pouch, not same as tumour in the brain.
No.
Well, each a little friend.
Jonas got into Teal'c's stash
Yeah.
where he hoards all these fucking weapons and shit.
Yeah.
And he's just like, ooh, candles.
So
Wading through all that
when we
crap.
see the gate room getting shot up,
Forks and
it's
stuff.
it's incoming wormhole. SG-15's IDC open up the iris, and maybe 5 seconds later the stun grenade falls through. Well, then when we see the first battle on the planet, you see Major, whatever his fucking name is, Major Lee or whatever it is, do the IDC on his little thing and say, okay, we're good to go. And then he gets shot in the back, and there's like a 3-minute fight scene of Teal'c getting shot. And
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It just lasted forever.
But that's what I'm saying, is the timing doesn't match up from when we saw the first half of that, from Hammond's point of view, from when the Jafar threw the stun grenade through and then came through and attacked with a bomb.
Oh, yeah,
Where was that?
that's
Like,
true.
there's no way that could have happened timing wise. And then the same thing when it actually happened at the end as well.
Still adrift,
So
mate.
none of that made sense. And then the thing that bugged me with Jonas's, I guess we can call it his final superpower, is seeing the future. The first couple made sense to me because they were shown from Jonas's point of view. The first one was him sitting at the table, hearing the guy sitting in front
I
of
knew
him
you'd have a
say,
problem with this.
yeah, I hate this episode. I hate it so much. It's just so poorly written. So it's like, that happened, and so he sees, oh, shut up, you old fool, blah, blah, blah. Not a problem. Next vision is his point of view, him picking up the book, seeing the drawing, and Sam going, hey, it's Mexican today. After that, he's seeing visions that he has no way of seeing. He's seeing the gate room getting shot up when he's not there. Then he's seeing things off-world that he's not there for.
Yeah, but the tumor was getting bigger, mate.
But there was no explanation. There was
Yeah,
all
I
it
had
takes,
an issue
all
with
it
the
takes-
off-world stuff.
Yeah, and he's like, and it's like, if he'd say, oh, look, if he was focusing and doing his Kelno reaming, and then he could see stuff, that's fine. But he saw the gate room shoot up scene before he was paying attention. He just kind of woke up out of a sleep and could see that. I'm like, all I needed was a line of dialogue where it's like, oh, you know, we took some of the data from Nirti's machine and it says blah, 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 some line of dialogue to explain that, and I'm down for it. But there wasn't.
Yeah, I can't forgive the off-world stuff because I'm like, well, I can almost understand if it's in the immediate vicinity and a big event happened, you know, sure. But for it to be off-world just because he's thinking about Jack, like, why wasn't it all the planets in the whole galaxy that he sees prophecies about?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was weird. Or
And
all the planets that they've been to.
And when Carter understandably questioned him and said, we don't even know when he said, you get hurt when you leave on this mission, you will get a staff blast, you know. She says, we don't even know whether it's this mission. It could be weeks away. He's like, no, I'm pretty sure it's only it's a very soonish sort of
My
prophecy.
tumor doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it's but you're right. Like I think that affects a lot of shows where there's like dream sequences and stuff where it's never as obvious or rarely as obvious as what this show, like you said, Maddie, where he picks up the notepad and it's that really weird, like trying to be first person camera, like even though his hand's like quite clearly like beside the camera, and then looks around and Carter's looking directly into the lens. Whereas in the next one where he sees Carter hurt, the camera pans around and shows him like the vision is looking at himself, and then like later on, it's a bird's eye of Jack firing off, you know, all kinds of shit. It's like, it changes every time beyond that. And it's just like, you're breaking your own rules. And that pisses me off more than anything in a lot of movies and TV in the sci-fi world where they just continually break their own boundaries. Like anything's believable in a world of fiction, but just stick to your own boundaries and set of rules, because then I can buy into anything.
Yeah, and then at the end when Jack's having his sort of final battle, like on the planet and stuff, and they're intercutting it with the operation scene, it's suddenly then the neurosurgeon is like, oh no, it's an astrocytoma. Well, luckily we all know what an astrocytoma is to know what a big deal that is over the rest of the brain surgery he's already having.
I was waiting for them to explain it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It's a tumor, right?
There was a little pause there, and I'm like, well, say something.
And she's like,
No, I don't
retract
know.
the flaps, and I've got it.
No, that wasn't there. That wasn't there in the MRI.
Yeah.
Must
It must
be a
have
new one.
grown. We didn't even have an insert of like some mushy brains,
Yeah.
or an X-ray, or
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
like
no
the,
budget,
the
mate.
X-ray they had for Cassandra's, was it in her head or lungs? That thing. I
in-
can't remember
in
now.
I can't remember.
In her chest?
In her heart, I think. Yeah,
Something
next to
like
her
that,
heart.
yeah.
Yeah, at least there's an X-ray. You're like, oh yeah, kind of figure
Yeah.
that out.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All right, you've tried.
Yeah.
And
Good
then-
enough.
And then because it made me so angry, then there was other little things that I really nitpicked at, like the fact that when
Did you like anything about it?
I'm going all in on this motherfucker. I'm
I
going
can
all
tell.
in on this motherfucker. Then when Jonas is like first talking to Sam about, I totally saw that was going to happen, and she's like, it's called deja vu.
Oh god.
Yeah.
No, it should be, we call it deja vu on this planet. It's not called deja vu throughout the entire fucking galaxy. You're talking to a guy from
Yeah.
another planet. She's like,
French word.
it's called deja vu. The fuck? That's Carter's not that kind of that like lax with her speech. The way she chooses to speak, she'd be like, it's a phenomena we call deja vu.
Yeah.
Simple little things like that.
You may not know this, Jonas, and I know that you remember everything, so quite clearly you've never come
I
across
don't know if
this.
you've read our dictionary.
Yeah. But it's called deja vu. Everyone on the entire galaxy knows that it's called deja vu. You fucking numpty. Like, Not about it. And then I'm still going.
Yeah,
Which I did actually like the way that the little...
We'll wait till you run out.
The way that they
Yeah.
define
Take
deja
it
vu, and I'm like, I've never actually read it or heard it defined as the way where she said it's like a slight lapse of the senses, like it's a slight delay. So by the time you actually register something,
You think you've already experienced
it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. I've never really thought about that. Whenever I think,
Yeah, that was
feel like I've had
Yeah.
deja vu.
I always just say, oh, it's a glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah, basically, God, poor Brennan had endless amounts of that from me in high school. Like I would see something, I'm like,
we
dude,
both did.
Yeah, we'd say it to each other, I'm like, man, I know for a fact that I dreamt that like
We had
3 months ago.
No, we had deja vu a couple of times at the same time. I remember.
It was
You were
weird.
sucking each other's dick at the same time.
I've done
You're
this
like,
before, haven't I?
I've done this before.
This again? I swear
I
to
know
God.
this. I know this taste.
Behind B Block again? But yeah, I've had deja
D-Block,
vu,
mate.
and I remember the dream that I've had it from.
Yeah.
And I can tell you the rest of the dream.
And I
from
feel
where
like I
remember
keep
it.
trying to beat it. I'm like, I'm going to beat it this time. And I'm like, nah, I just can't do it. So the idea that it's like, it's a sensory lapse, I'm like, that makes sense. But I without knowing, and it sounds like such a ridiculous thing to feel that you know this, and that you remember it. I know that it's been a long time since I dreamt this.
Yeah.
And it's nothing. It's literally like driving around a corner and seeing like a dog run across the road 200 yards down the track. Like something so minute and unmemorable that I go, I know that. I've seen that before.
I got a text
and
from
it's
you the
something
other
I
day.
know that I've never actually seen it before. It's not like where you walk across the street from your work and you see the same person getting coffee that lives in that building. It's like that's something you would see every day. It's something different, so minute, but at the same time so unique at the same time.
I got a text
don't
from
know.
you the other day, and I was at work and I read it, and I'm like, I had massive deja vu. I was like, I've had this text from Mitch about this
Dick pic.
topic in this exact moment way before.
Yeah. It's a weird phenomenon. And even I wasn't happy with the way they did it in The Matrix either.
How do they brush it off? It's been a year since I've seen any of
Glitch
those
in the
movies, but-
Matrix.
Well, the cat,
glitch,
he
that's
watches the cat go past and he goes,
Yeah.
meow, and then it happens again. It's
Yeah.
not, it's not how it really works. But
And they really
well,
set
how
it
do you,
up that
how do you
too, though.
visualize a feeling? I think that was the whole point.
well,
The
it's almost.
Matrix
I
is
would almost prefer kind of a vision like Jonas got, and then he saw it straight away.
there. Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah, but it wasn't deja vu. It was a glitch in the Matrix.
yeah.
What I don't understand is why they were eating off-world food.
Yeah.
And it was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
But we've seen them eat Pizza Planet pies before.
Yep.
Yeah,
At least
that didn't
they
end well.
And that was the moment O'Neill said, rations only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, they have to eat a dead rat or whatever the they're eating this time.
Actually, oh god, I didn't even mention it last week. I really liked that line where they were sitting down with the politicians
I love
and
that
shit
Mitch,
of last
sorry,
week.
dude,
Sorry.
I love that Mitch takes a week to catch up. It's like last week he was talking about what he liked in The Changeling, and now this week he's talking about what he liked in
and I remember, I might be sitting here and I'm like, this is completely out of context of what we're speaking about, but I'll remember to mention this before the end of the episode, and then something reminds me of that. A week later, I'm like, God damn it! Is it kind of still relevant? But when they were sitting down eating, and the prime minister or the president or whatever of that country, planet, whatever,
Chairman.
and the chairman, he's like, I can't believe we're actually eating food that was prepared in a different planet millions of light years away. And then O'Neill jumps in and goes, and frozen millions of years ago. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so scientific. That is 12 hards. Yes, go. Because technically you're right, but it's instantaneous fucking light speed. It's great.
Yeah,
so,
but it wouldn't have been millions of years because the Milky Way is only about 80 or 90,000.
I know, but it was like he was going for a science thing, but then he O'Neilled it. And it was just like...
Just a
it's
few too many zeros on the end.
Yeah. Read a book, Jack.
So back to my rant.
Yeah, what else did you hate? Yeah.
Mott taken down with one bullet by that little girl who's never fired a gun before in her life.
It was in the back of the head, mate.
Well, we don't know. It was shown off screen. So he
I'm telling you.
he holds up his
I wrote fan fiction around it.
Believe me, Mott's never coming back. We never see him again.
But he holds up his hand device and she shoots that, and so he's got one bullet in the hand, and then it pans across to her and she just pumps another one in him somewhere, and you hear him flop over dead. It's like, geez.
In the subtitles it said thud.
Nice.
He
Did he
thudded
deserve
over.
like when he pops up and they keep, think about some of the great villains we've had. Your old mate Pete Williams, he comes in. What's my character name? Apophis. Old mate, what's the new villain? What are you? Anubis. Who are you? Haru-Ur. What are you? Nerty. Who are you? Mott. Sorry, what? Or as O'Neill would say when he yells it, Mott. Like
Well,
Mott.
and
Is
then
that all we've got left, really?
And then at one point he says, "Oh, so Mr. Mott,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Mott is a blue Bolian barber on the USS Enterprise."
That's one.
That's two, isn't it?
That's one.
If we're going to do it, like, I'd almost
be
give you a
two.
pass mark, but yeah.
I know to ration them out these days. So.
Yeah.
You beat Baal.
What?
You beat Baal.
You beat Baal, yeah. Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, yeah, thanks,
Oh.
mate.
You beat Baal.
His persistence is remarkable.
You go, you.
Silence. Silence. Silence.
Baal's recent campaign was
Ignores
meant to
him.
be a final crushing blow, but he allowed you to escape.
Oh, this is a full year before You Go Glen Coco and 2004's Mean Girls. And Ol O'Neill comes out with a You Go You.
You go, you.
Love it.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to hear about the battle behind the scenes of the system lords, knowing that it's still happening, and Yu's just on his own, just swinging haymakers, getting beaten, and then he's like, "Oh, got to get out of here," and then
So,
just blows the shit out of
Because
it.
didn't they say that Baal answers to Anubis?
Yeah,
Yep.
Is that... I can't remember now. Is that what happened?
Mott
That's what they
answers to
said.
Baal,
Yeah, but like,
and then
did that happen where Baal is now under Anubis?
yeah, that's what they said. But yeah,
Well,
basically,
he's
I know they said it here, but before that.
oh no, but the,
No, they
the
said
last
it
we
here.
heard is that Anubis is now a system lord.
Yeah, so he's obviously just, flexing his muscles as part of the
Yeah.
system lords, and they're all kind of capitulating because they're afraid of him. But you was the only one who didn't vote for Anubis to join the system lords, so he's in open defiance. I think they didn't say he's in open defiance.
Yeah, but I was
he's
just...
doing pretty well to hold his own
the time
against...
before that against, like, when he had O'Neill captured Baal, that is. There's no talk about Anubis, how he loves Anubis and all that shit now.
Time's passed since then, almost a full
It's just
season's
weird how
passed
it's just
since
an
then.
offhand thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Offhanded
Maybe
thing
it's
instead
almost
of...
like an unofficial thing. Like, I guess if You was a part of the Gould Council and they were all in sort of like a joint partnership, reluctantly because they're Gould, but they're all in a joint partnership, and then Anubis shows up with Daniel's ex-girlfriend and was like, all right, I'm back. This is how we're going to do it. You're going to welcome me back in here, and we're going to change things up. Yous went, F that.
Yeah.
So he's left. It's not like Anubis has come in and assumed control. He's just rejoined, obviously with the intent and the goal to assume control. But then You has separated himself from the council to single out Anubis and be like, I'm against you. And everyone else has just kind of went, well, I guess if he's against Anubis, he's kind of against the rest of us. So we'll follow the new guy.
Not to, my favourite phrase, not to spoil anything for Rhys, but I honestly think this was just a ham-fisted way to set up some plot points for next week's episode.
Yeah.
All it really was is to set up that You and Anubis are in open conflict with each other. That's it.
And I'd be interested too. Like, how do you feel, Rhys? Because I know some things about what's coming up, but I haven't seen, again, any of these episodes for years. Certainly don't or remember anything like the other two in the room. Brendan and Maddie remember about these episodes. So the fact that Anubis is, well, supposed to be, I guess, because we're getting told, the new big bad. Like, he's done all.
We've only seen him once or twice.
Yeah. Like, up until this point, do you even consider him the big bad? Like, when you think about Apophis, how Apophis could go away for a whole season, you'd be like, man, that guy's the boss, because he proved himself early on, and he could go away for long stints, but you still felt his presence.
Yeah, the thing with Apophis is he would rock up and he would fucking fight you.
Yeah.
And then you'd kill him and he'd come back. He'd be like, you can't beat me. And then you'd kill him and he'd come back and he would still rock up and he would fight you. Anubis is just like...
in your dreams.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
2 seasons later.
Like
he's
Freddy
popping up-
Krueger.
Yeah.
Anubis
if you
is
think
Anubis
about
is
it-
sending system lords and sending, different people to do his bids, and you're just like, okay, great.
If
you
you
are
think
what
about
you are.
it, Apophis died the first episode of season 5. So really, Apophis was only in the first 4 seasons. A, how many times did he fuck us over? B, how many times did he die? And how many episodes was he in? So really, Apophis has been the big bad through all of season 5 and all of season 6 now, and he's been in maybe 2 episodes.
Yeah.
He was in, Revelations at the end of season 5. Has he been in this season yet? Have we seen him this season? I don't think so.
It's weird. Like, I as the rewatcher, like, I'm somewhere between Rhys and then you two guys. I'm definitely on Rhys's side with the whole Jonas thing. Like, I just know, as a long-term Stargate fan, I hate Jonas, but in this rewatch, I'm like, I still haven't got to the point where I hate Jonas. And I still don't have any respect for Anubis as a big bad. It's weird. And we're in the second last episode of season 6, and
That's why season 6 sucks.
It's remembered as the introductory season for Jonas, and you're supposed to hate him because of.
But nothing happens.
This is
really.
And
Like, they get
maybe
the
that is it,
Prometheus,
yeah.
I guess, but it sucks.
So maybe it's post
The Quadrius
season
sucks.
7, 8, and whatever ongoing. You go, 6 was shit. But I think now that we're experiencing
a
it,
lot of setup.
yeah, it is a lot of setup, sure. But I think just at the moment where you don't necessarily know that it's set up, and if it's not written that way, if they don't know that they're coming back for 7 or 8 or whatever,
Yeah. This is, for me, this is the absolute low point, especially for season 6 and for Jonas. The jump from this episode to next episode. Next week's episode is probably in my top 10 of the entire series of all time.
Wow, yeah, okay.
It is phenomenal. And
Let's not talk it up too much, guys.
well, and going forward for next episode and next season, they start getting Jonas right at this point. It's taken them a whole season to get that, but from him moving forward, I really like Jonas. He's got some really good episodes. But it's just like, it took a long time to get there. It took him a really, really long time. And yeah, I just can't wait for next week's episode.
That's why I said at the start of this season when we were talking about it that I think if Jonas had continued, everyone would have jumped on board. If he was going through till season 10.
Yeah,
then
if
everyone
he'd
would
had
be
some
happy.
time. Yeah.
It's just so funny that like it's so meta. His character is so meta in the sense that Jonas, like Corin, is trying to, I guess, warm to the fan or have the fans warm to him. And Jonas is still. I think we get the end of this episode. They go, "See, O'Neill's finally coming around to you." It's like shit. This is 21
they should
episodes.
they should have done that
Yeah.
way earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And
yeah,
I haven't got the feeling for the last 5 or 10 episodes or whatever that O'Neill still hates him, but
No.
I'm like, oh yeah, I guess he hasn't sort of really come up to you and like treated you as an equal.
He hasn't
until
at any point said, I should have chose the Russian.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. He's just the probie. Like you gotta earn your keep.
Yeah.
You know, like Jack's that whole military background, blah blah blah. But I think Jack's shown a few times throughout the season that, yeah, you're all right. You're part of the team. Like, you know.
Do you know the one real high point for this episode for me? We saw the FaceTime ball again.
I thought you were going to say it ended.
Oh no, I totally forgot the little Tokra FaceTime ball was in this.
And they gave you plenty of time to realise what it was too. Like
Yeah.
it did that pan around. And it's
Yeah.
just holding.
This guy's the best marble player
holding.
ever.
Yeah. Pokemon Go.
God, he must be stressed. He can't even squeeze a stress ball.
But where the hell did this guy get all those toys? Like obviously
Yeah.
he got it from Mott, but why would old mate
Naughty
give it
but
to
nice.
Yeah. Why would Mott?
him? What?
Naughty but
Naughty
nice.
but nice.
Why would Mott not just kill the old guy and put the guy who's loyal to him in charge?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why not just do that?
yeah.
Considering he's like this, probably the most
Or
arch.
leave a Jafar there?
Yeah, well, he's probably the most
Yeah.
like arch mustache twirling Gould we've seen since Apophis, like season 1 Apophis.
Yeah.
He's.
I didn't
over
mind
the
Mott
top.
as a bad guy.
Yeah, he
it's creepy.
was good. He
I mean, he
sold
only
it
had
well.
really one good scene with O'Neill, but
Yeah, I do have a bit of audio here that I did want to play right at the top of the episode just to remind Rhys about it, just because he claimed to have no memory of it. But I thought we can give it a run now if you like.
Previously on Stargate SG-1.
Tar is actually a hybrid of two Gould words, hawk, which means advanced, and tar, which I believe is a sort of slang for
Human.
So essentially it's advanced human, hawk, tari.
Sound familiar at all?
Never heard of it. When that came up and I saw Cassandra, I'm like, oh, you're kidding me? They're doing another Cassandra episode? Jesus Christ.
This was also my way just to get a little bit of Daniel in this episode. just trying to wheel that in.
Jesus.
so I did like how they kind of made Mott sort of menacing in the way that the old fella was talking about Mott, like he lined up the 10 sickest people in the village. Like he goes,
Yeah.
he took 10 of the sickest people in the village, including her husband, and executed them. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, this guy
Like,
needs
He didn't
business.
abduct them like it sounded like during the first part of that sentence. He f***ing executed them. I'm like, Jesus.
Even Negan only takes one.
2 of them couldn't stand. They were that sick. He tied him up onto a post and shot him. It's just like, yeah. Or even old mate, like he got the guy that, like, you know, his spy who betrayed the rest of his people, and ratted them out to mutt. And when the alarms are going off and Mott runs, he's like, who set off that alarm? He's like, I did, sir, because they've escaped. He's like, I did that, you idiot. I'm trying to draw them out, blah, blah, blah. He's like, well, I mean, I couldn't have known, so you've got to forgive me. That's what you think. I was like, dude, like, he was following your orders to a T.
His whole plan came together because of you, but you mucked up one time.
And he was pretty conniving to the fact that he let that girl drug that water to give it to the Jafar so that they would pass out.
I think
Let
that's a
him
bit of a
escape.
reach.
Like,
How would he know that? I mean, fair enough. He let her go in, but how would he know that she drugged him?
Yeah.
Oh, you said you liked him,
That's
Matt. I was
next
just trying
level.
to contribute.
He probably gave
I
her
think he's
the.
a fuckwit.
No, I like the scene with him and Jack where he's that mustache twirling
Yeah,
guy.
Mr. Mutt.
Jonas plays a good dead guy.
Does
He gives good dead.
Gives good dead.
Was he dead?
Oh, a couple of times he fell over and blood pouring out, pissing out his
Oh yeah.
nose.
Why wasn't he accompanied by a nurse or a guard?
It's just because
Like
lazy
he's
writing.
He passed out.
Any writing around Jonas is just lazy. All right, just chuck him
He
in.
nearly passed out like on the planet, and now he's off world, and he's just by himself, and he's got a brain tumor. He'll be fine.
He's on base. We'll see him
He'll hit it.
eventually.
Will
But
he
yeah,
hit the alarm? No, he won't. No, he'll just die.
We'll find him.
Don't
At
leave
least-
anyone there.
At least if he's dead, we won't have to keep worrying about him.
We'll wrap a bandage around his head, and then next week he shows up with a perfect head of hair. It's fine.
Yeah.
And
There's weeks in between.
in the UK they played him back to back.
yeah.
It literally faded out on that episode and faded out on O'Neill in the lift in the first scene of next week's
They
episode.
would
I
have
grow
to-
my hair faster than anyone else.
It's his other superpower, of course.
I'm a quick grow.
They would have had to take away his parts of his skull.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally would have had to drill
Yeah.
into his skull.
Smash it open.
I mean, I saw that operation in Saw 3. It looked really ugly.
Took a little bit longer, but yeah, I was watching Jonas's face as he was playing dead, and his eyes were open, and he did not move a muscle. It was perfect.
Yeah, he gives
They
me
paused it.
Didn't blink. I was watching it for 6 minutes. He did not blink or move his eyes once.
If you blink, you're out. Like forever.
And Fraser was just standing.
I didn't
still in
blink.
one position.
Now he's still out.
I thought for sure it's 2 weeks later. This guy really wants this job.
Shanks coming back. You're out.
Yeah.
You're cut.
That's why I think
You blinked. You're out. Get out.
Fucking idiot. Get out.
Scared of butterflies, you piece of shit.
he almost got upstaged by a piece of prop, like a piece of set design that they had to remove in one of
This
his.
shot here is my greatest single regret in this episode. Because right behind that pillow, there was a pineapple with a get well card. And we moved the pillows around and I hit it. I didn't realize it till we'd already gotten to coverage.
Oh, right, your
And it-
pineapple,
and it
the
would have been
wheel-wearing pineapple.
Perfect pineapple.
Which makes
Placement.
its appearance in virtually every episode. Or
Not
tries to.
necessarily by me.
No.
Yes, it is his trademark. And even in the one where Corin came from originally in Kelowna, on his home world, you had
That's
one
right.
painted silver with electrodes coming out of it in the lab.
Background, yeah. But it's all about the placement, you know.
Yeah.
Look for the pineapple.
So his one regret is not the disservice he did to Corin Nemec's acting. It's the fact that they didn't show the fucking pineapple.
Was it just me, or at the start of that, did he just sound like a really old woman? This old woman at Christmas time.
This shot here is my greatest single regret in
It's
this
my
episode.
great-grandchildren.
Right
They
behind-
came over. Well, hello, dearie. They had all the roast beef and pooped all over the floor.
Little Johnny here is my biggest regret.
Granny that owns Tweety Bird. What's her name?
Oh, yeah.
Granny.
Is it just Granny? Just
Yeah,
show her last
Granny,
name?
yeah.
Just Granny?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, sounds like him.
She's wild.
Granny Bird.
She loves it. Granny Bird.
Yeah, Tweety Bird's mum.
Hey, so the high point for me for this episode was Thomas Kopachi. It's not like an Apache helicopter, but Kopachi. He played the old guy.
Well, I would have thought the helicopters come after the indigenous Americans, but
Apaches. Yeah.
Kopachi. Anyway.
Is that racist? I don't even know.
no, helicopters don't feel.
So he was the old guy, the leader guy. one of the few actors to appear in all 4 Star Trek spin-offs.
Oh, mate.
And one of only
come
5...
on.
Wait, let me finish. And one of only 5 actors to play 7 or more characters in the Star Trek universe. Worth it.
Sorry, what else is boring?
What else is boring?
Played Kira Taban.
Well, I got nothing else to say.
I just like the way that it ended as well. I'm trying to think there was another episode that was so ambiguous the way that it ended, because I don't know whether it was this season or the end of season 5, but at the end where they're like trying to line up like what actually happened. I guess the future isn't written because, you know, of the way that, you know, we said this, that we changed it. We changed the future. Well, hang on. But your prophecy fulfilled, your prophecy where you did change the future that you saw kind of fulfilled a prophecy from 100 years ago where they just very, like, I don't know, open-ended said that a guy will come along and fix shit in
Someone will save us.
time.
Oh,
Like,
I like it.
so, like,
Write that down.
so, like, which is it? Did you change the future or did you enact the future? Guess you'll never know. Like, no, you were exploring a very philosophical, like, a good point here. Come on, guys.
That's what we want to see, not Jonas get his head broken open and get a part of his brain removed.
Joe's
Oh,
like,
no,
Paul.
no. Astrocytoma! Dun, dun, dun!
Yeah. Joe's like, hey, Paul, we got to hand this in. Yeah, that'll do.
That'll do. Yeah, chuck a few big words in there.
Yeah.
Hand it in.
See, I kind of felt sorry for Jonas when Carter got her burn on her arm. He's like, yeah, it kind of looked like a staff burn. And I kind of wanted, I know it's probably hard for Will, but I kind of wanted a point off planet where, like, you know how we've spoken about time and you chuck a boulder in a lake or whatever, so it's always going to go over the waterfall.
Yeah.
What if, regardless if Carter went off world or not, she was always going to have that burn on her arm? I would have liked to have seen a shot off world where maybe Carter could have been standing or whatever and she would have got shot.
I thought that's actually where they were going when Sila came around and said, oh, Carter was hurt as well. And I thought she was going to maybe walk around or something and still have like a very damaged arm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so regardless, she was destined to be hurt.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
that was
Or
the future that he
reason-
saw, but it was only because he he thought he changed it,
Yeah, because he
then they
warned her, then she stayed back and
But
got
then
in.
they retconned it with
or
telling them about it and then Jack hears the horn at the end.
Yeah, but she should have been.
Is it?
She should have been in his vision. She should have been walking back through the Stargate into the embarkation room, and then he goes, "Oh shit, she's been hitting the shoulder with the staff blast," and then says, "Okay, don't go," and then wheel her
that
through
could have
with
been cool.
something on the arm.
or it could have been like
in
the
the same
leader
place.
of SG-15 took whatever sort of wound she was going to
Yeah,
get.
that's what I thought it was
He
going to
was in
be when they went
place
through. I thought O'Neill was going to say, "Hey, you SG-15 member, you come with me because Carter's not here, and you're kind
And
of
that
the
guy
same.
cops
You can
it
do the
in the
same
arm.
shit as Carter does."
That
And then
could have
he,
been cool.
Yeah, kind of like that Ashton Kutcher movie, The Butterfly Effect. It's like he goes back in time to change things and things up worse. It's like, oh, he's going to save this person from, hitting that letterbox, but then he's going to get his arm blown off from the explosion. Things like that. It's like it just makes things worse by doing it. Yeah,
I was just in that
Wasn't
conversation
impressed.
think a bit like Final Destination where they were going to die. They stopped it, but then death
gotta die anyway,
chasing down. They died, and even if they were, you're going to die because you're walking into it, literally a minefield. It's like, well, we're not going to go there. We're going to go into a pillow factory, and it's like, well, then death will find a way of killing you there. Oh, I'm going to go somewhere else. No, death will just find a way of killing you there.
Yeah.
Like it is going to happen. So
inevitable.
it's just I would have loved that to be explored because
It's inevitable.
Stargate's not going to sit there and explore predicting the future once a season as like that's this in this season we're going to explore this sci-fi idea. This is like a one and done almost, or if they're going to do it again, it might be once before the end of the series. Like, and they're like, this is the way they did it. I just feel like they could have had more fun with it. No, there's not going to be a definitive answer, of course, but make your definitive answer. Like every time travel movie is different
Explore
because they
one
set their own
branch
rules.
of the tree of what could be.
Yeah. And in terms of owing death a death, basically, there could have been one redeeming feature that Will Waring did in this, and the editors did him dirty. Would have been the one cool death.
Well, one thing that in the control room when Hammond gets knocked down and he sees that Gary Jones is dead, It doesn't really show up here, but I had them take the monitor that Gary Jones sits behind, and they put a big hole through it. And I wanted them to do a shot where you see Gary Jones dead, and you tilt up and see the hole in the monitor. So the idea that you get is he was shot through the monitor.
Right.
Awesome.
But it doesn't really come across.
How cool would that have been?
Didn't even know Walter died in that. Did
No,
not
me
notice
neither.
it.
That's it. He just kind of fell down next to Hammond, and Hammond stood up, so you don't even get the shot of whether
Yeah.
he died or not. But it's like
Yeah,
they
no.
destroyed a computer monitor to make it look like a staff blast went all the way through it, and then
Yeah.
hit Walter and killed him, and we didn't see it.
I never understood
bullshit.
if that glass is so pitiful. Like, we've had spears go through it, there's staff blasts go through it. Why don't they always drop the blast doors every time there's an incoming wormhole? It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, have Hammond survey the thing through a security camera. Like,
Yeah.
Just get
Yeah.
lax, guys. I mean, back in season 1, they were activating the self-destruct every time the Stargate came in. So it's
Yeah.
like
It would almost be cheaper if they had a monitor there. So
Yeah.
then they wouldn't have to do green screen shit. And it's like, oh, they're coming through.
Yeah.
stock
Well,
footage.
Yeah.
And there are cameras in the gate room. It's
Yeah,
like
that's what I mean,
It's
yeah.
like they back in Foothold when the aliens were like they closed the blast doors.
Yeah.
And there's cameras, like there's little black and white cameras up in the corner filming what's going on. So it's like they could have seen from there.
Yeah.
Plus, the thing that I did like about this once Hammond found out about the prophecy is that there were so many guards. I think the most guards we've seen at all in the entire series so far just coming in with shields.
Yeah.
And then they're lined up out the corridor as if like, well, once those guys die, we're coming in.
Yeah.
Those
It's like,
first guys are
whoa.
going
I
to get
love
taken out
that,
by
but-
that,
Yeah, that
shock
was
grenade.
so good.
Yeah.
Not
Just
a-
as like a contingency, like we got
Yeah.
them stacked up,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
reinforcements.
And the
You have
big
to
like
climb over
riot
the bodies.
shields and all that kind of stuff.
But
Well, that would have been
speaking
cool.
about
Like all
that-
they would have had to do is just march up the ramp and push them back into the Stargate.
Yeah, that's true. I just wish if there is a new Stargate series, they really need to get better technology in the gate room for security. They should have like turret guns or
That's
fucking
what they need to
drone
do.
guns.
Well, they
Bubble
do.
us.
Remember, there's that episode where it's like there's that missile launcher drops down from the ceiling and fires bloody rockets through the Stargate.
Yeah, but they have that,
Yeah.
which you can never see.
That was like a
Yeah.
coat rack, wasn't it?
Hey?
Wasn't those missiles sitting on like a coat rack? There's just two of them, and they let them go, and then went
Yeah,
through
the coat
Stargate?
rack that drops down from the
Oh, it
ceiling.
comes
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
ceiling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but they need like sweet laser guns or something.
Well, I don't have lasers yet.
Sweet,
could.
sweet lasers.
They could if they wanted them.
You just have to write them in. That's all they need to do.
Yeah, most of the prophecies were annoying because it was more or less useless. I just wish after they came from the prophecy and they went up to the briefing room, Hammond just went, SG-1, this is Cena.
You know. I can't see anyone.
Bit of a John Cena reference there.
Oh,
For those
now I get it.
Playing at home.
Jonas and Hammond are going crazy.
Yeah.
There's no one there. You can't see her. One for the wrestling fans out there.
Big time.
You know, Damo Edwards is getting drunk listening to this shit.
Loving it.
Keep it down, Damien. Sorry.
So do we buy the ending that by Jonas having his prophecy and Hammond opening the gate and radioing through and that little horn going off, basically if you look the setup for the scene, Jack is standing behind the DHD, staring directly at Major Lee or whatever his name is, who's dialing. And Major Lee gets shot in the back, so Jack never saw the person directly behind him, so Jack wasn't doing his job right. So because of that horn in the distance, Jack's vision moved from like the 12 o'clock position to like the 11 o'clock position. And based just on that, and they were 6 men, and all they had was 2 staff weapons and 2 Zats, they took out that entire ambush and made it home safely with just that one guy with the sore leg.
Yeah, well, I guess they lost the element of surprise. The Goa'uld lost the element of surprise. As soon as that horn went off, he's like, oh shit, they know we've escaped. They know that we're here, get ready. And immediately Jack was on alert. Whereas if...
But that was his job in the first one, though. It's like before they
Well,
were...
yeah, no, they escaped from jail. No one knew that they were gone. They were like, okay, let's just quickly go through the gate and then we'll come back. Like, he thought they were still covert. But then
But Jack,
they didn't know it was a
Jack
big...
was watching the guy's back while he was dialing. Like, that was his job. He was standing behind the DHD
Yeah, I agree.
Well,
It's
the
but
guy was
SG-15.
dying.
Jack didn't give a about him.
until Tilt copped it.
that's his,
Yeah.
that's his job. But even like the guy who's on a roadworks team with a stop sign doesn't really give a shit until a car comes.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
he's like, oh, shit, hang on.
Yeah, hang on. What? Which side is this? Oh, yeah. Jeez, stop.
And you even saw the explosive pack on Teal'c's back in that scene where he's getting shot and he looks
yeah.
up. If you look over onto his left shoulder, you see like a big ping pong ball sized lump. And then when he sits up, that's what explodes with him getting the
I
stuff.
thought that was
His
his
muscles.
muscles. Oh, yeah, I thought it was his extra trap.
Yeah, he's
It's time for the Get Into Geek Hairy Mailbag Weekly. We've got a Gibson Brothers podcast reference here to kick things off.
Oh, give it to me.
From
Make two people happy.
Dave Hancock.
4.
I'll make you two happy as well.
Dave Hancock, love
Dave
Dave
Hancock
Hancock.
says, I have a recommendation for a Gibson Brothers verbal lubricator,
Shoot.
Cooper's Vintage.
Pass.
Wait for it, 2 standards per stubby.
Holy shit.
Neck 2, then sip. You're in business 15 minutes after that.
Jesus.
Neck means skull.
Yeah. I also
international.
have a film review request. MIB International. That's the new Chris Hemsworth film.
Oh, yeah, one of the great
I'm not
shows.
going to see it and would like to hear about what you guys thought also not seeing it.
Okay, I've just...
Here I was about to not play the game and go, oh, I'm going to go see it soon, but that's not what we're talking about.
No, mate.
We don't do
I've
that.
just caught up with the first sentence and I've realised it's got nothing to do with Robert C.
No,
it's
Cooper's
the
Vintage is
beer.
the drink.
Cooper's beer.
Cooper's Pale Ale.
Cooper's
beer.
Vintage.
2 standards per stubby. Well, don't mind if I do, Dave.
Absolutely.
Hey, Stifler, how's the pale ale?
I always think about that.
Yeah.
It's like the guy I work with is like pretentious and loves his kind of, what are they called? Those shit beers that everyone...
Craft
beers that everyone...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love the Pale Ale. I'm in a cup and drink it, you...
I mean, that's what beer is. But, like, pale ale's the next step down from lager.
Yeah, you might as...
Like, oh, man, it took me
That's
long
it,
enough to
a
love
fruit,
beer.
It's a fruity beer. Oh, like,
Yeah.
what do you...
I'm not
it's a
drinking a
sweet beer.
UDL.
Yeah. Oh, there's cider out there that exists. Goonsack.
It totally tastes like
A
cider.
bit of fruity
It's
Lexia.
It's okay if you don't like beer. Just drink cider. Don't make beer cider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to mix it up.
There's an in-between. Josh Williams is got in touch with us on Facebook. He sent us a photo. It says, it's just the picture of this sign. Must be at a school somewhere. Hope he's got kids. It says, welcome to preschool story time. It says, welcome to preschool story time with Mrs. Carmen. Today's theme is Across the Universe. And Josh says, I have the Across the Universe theme stuck in my head now. Y'all ruined library story time. Or perhaps you salvaged it.
From the bushes.
From the bushes. Josh Williamson,
Love it.
possibly
Well done.
Peter's
Probably Peter's.
kin. Apoff.
Kin. Yes.
Josh Poff. Thanks, Jozza.
Sean Vitito jumps on the old YouTubes for us. And this is on the Stargate Origins review.
It's gone back a while.
The YouTube.
One of the great
Just got to
shows.
say, Rhys made this podcast epic.
Thank you.
Drops the mic and walks out. Loved it. FYI, I know it's over a year later, but just heard the weekly hairy mailbag from episode 120 and had to drop my comment. Keep up the great work. FYI about Origins, it was really disappointing. I was hoping for more than $1,000 budget. And to wrap it all up at the end, with the way they brought everything together, sucked.
Absolutely.
True that.
Oh, that makes it canon. Not. Thanks for the laughs and keep it up. Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
On your Tito.
So
The
true.
teats.
T-Dog. Absolutely, it sucked.
If we had
Origins.
to choose between watching Origins again and watching Prophecy again, what do we choose?
Oh, prophecy every day of the
Yeah.
week.
I suppose it's
Absolutely.
shorter, isn't it? So
Get it
Yeah, Tilk's in it.
less
Yeah,
dizzy,
that's
you know?
Holly Monnery Holly Corbett strikes a chord here with Rhys. This one's right at there for Rhys. I think what I enjoyed most about this week's episode, which is off the back of our Metamorphosis chat, is the gradual increase in love the boys have for Jonas. It happened for me too in my recent rewatch, and now I'm fully converted. How did it take us so long?
Holly.
Hashtag Jonas is a babe. Hashtag Daniel who?
Boom, Holly.
How
Boom.
dare you?
And I just
don't
got
mind.
to tell you, Corin Nemec liked the shit out of that tweet.
I bet he did.
Daniel who?
Yeah, look, I mean, as I say, I think it was in our Frozen chat. It was when I first brought it up that, yeah, Jonas Quinn is just a victim of lazy writing.
We've all said that.
Started off by Robert C. Cooper. You'll blame Jonas for that as well as Daniel's death, but I mean that's just a selfish thought, isn't it? Me, I give Jonas a chance, and we all love him.
No.
Is this a thing you're reading? It sounded like you were reading.
Yeah, that's what happens when I before I think before I talk. That's what it's. Also, it's 1 a.m.
Oh, good excuse.
Leanna Carrasco also says, I fell in love with Jonas the second he walked on the screen. Good looks will do that. When he became permanent, I about lost my mind. Then Daniel came back. I was so mad.
Yeah, get your sweater and get the out, Daniel.
Go ascend somewhere else, you piece of shit.
Oh, Sammy's getting right in on the bloody Metamorphosis Jonas love as well. I really like this episode. Jonas getting a chance to be badass, mouthing off to Nerty was cool, and it led to the character having a feature episode where he has visions of the future.
Which sucked.
Oh.
To each their own.
This is all going to make me vomit in my mouth.
I loved how the others finally realised he was willing to go all the way for them too. He's been trying hard enough.
Absolutely.
17 episodes.
When's
at that
he gonna go full circle and die like Daniel did, saving somebody? Or have I accidentally given away next week's episode?
If you have, I'm
Well,
gonna
you
hate
haven't.
you for the rest of your
No,
life.
you
do
haven't
that.
because you haven't prefaced it with not to give anything away for Rhys.
Look, I wouldn't be fucking surprised.
No, I wouldn't do that. Like I said before, I like Jonas next season. Season 7 Jonas is really good.
It's because he's dead. How can you hate him if he's dead? Thanks at Samara Draven.
Driving.
Draven.
I can hear you. I can see your brain taking over. Draven even.
Not to stay on the same topic, we've really started a movement here. Bobby Reedy, yeah, mate, genuinely didn't realise there was people who didn't like Jonas until the boys said it.
Bobby, really?
I'm with the Flying Gibson
Thank
on
you,
this
sir.
one. Jonas being cool. One of the great takes, hashtag, his father made him right. Holly, she jumps on board, replies that, I think what Maddie said was right. It was
Okay,
because
now
he
I'm back on
wasn't
board.
Daniel. There was such a swell of people who were heartbroken, but watching it fresh changed so many of my views.
Absolutely.
I'm still not over
It's
Daniel's
all about perspective. It's all about perspective, mate. You just got to give him a chance. Got to just.
I've given him a chance for
He's-
15 years.
Love him until he proves that you need to hate him. That's all.
Yeah, I loved him for the first 2 minutes of Meridian, and then Daniel died, and he...
That wasn't his fault, mate.
And
wasn't
I
his
know we've
fault.
said it a bunch of times before
Daniel's
this
dumb
season,
fault.
but and I think it's worth revisiting because Corin Nemec is a follower of the show, like in many aspects. Like he is right around our socials. I don't know whether he's tuning in every week to listen to the podcast. We can only assume that, of course, he is. But we have never slagged off Corin Nemec. We continue to not slag off Corin
He's
Nemec.
great.
We love Corin
Rhys
Nemec.
did once.
He's just been done dirty.
What's that?
Nothing.
But
When?
we
I didn't-
just say that, yeah, he
love
got a little
Corky.
bit underdone. It was like
Yeah.
the writer just a little bit unsure how to replace Daniel, and at times they just fell back into rewriting Daniel to not be Daniel but be Jonas instead. So.
Next week is some of Jonas as a character, ignoring how much I love Corin. Next week's episode has some of Jonas's best work
Cool.
because I'm going to spoil something for Rhys.
Yeah,
Oh,
don't.
So,
Jesus. He's
it's,
right on the
it's just the team dynamic works.
Yeah.
They're not making him a replacement Daniel next week.
Yeah.
They give him his own stuff, and I think it works.
Finally put some effort into writing for him.
Pretty much. And it's a Robert Cooper episode too.
Well, about time. We have come full circle, haven't we?
He's done Jonas dirty this entire season since he created him, and now
He's done SG1 dirty the whole time he's been on the. I love it how Brendan started this whole Cooper shit, and now he doesn't even have to say anything. Everyone else has taken it. Brendan hasn't said anything bad about Cooper for fucking weeks.
Yeah. Oh, look, he speaks for himself. I'm not going to be.
Stale Hand on YouTube. He's commented on episode 1. He's also a new subscriber. He says, or she.
Don't assume.
Either one could
Wouldn't
have
assume it.
either one's hand could be stale. Didn't realise others loved Stargate as much as me. Well, welcome to the community.
Welcome.
Couple of YouTube shout-outs from new subscribers. Juniper Bell, Ian Tomlinson, Steve Becker, Maddie Mo 2491.
On your Moe.
Lan Harcombe, Danny 108, Dave Hancock, he's already been on. Rob Keys,
We've given you enough of a shout
Stale
out there.
Hand. I love the Stale Hand, by the way.
You do?
Yeah. Stale
Good.
Hand on my cock.
Got one here from
Tara Hunter, MNM, on Twitter. What do you do when your podcast sound varies a lot and it bothers your coworker? Pop on your aftershocks, of course. Nothing I can do about my obnoxious laughing, though. Now back to Get Into Geek.
Oh, well done, Tara. Sneaks in a little, plug there for Aftershocks earphones. Just trying to get some sponsorship going there.
Absolutely.
Oh, I
Great
see what
people at
you've done.
Aftershocks.
Great
They want to
people.
sponsor the
Wanna
show.
jump on and get
Patreon.
Obviously
Get in contact.
Obviously, her
Slash Get Into
co-workers
Geek.
don't enjoy us laughing obnoxiously while she's listening to our podcasts at work. So
Well, I think
she's got to pop the little earbuds in.
Yeah, I think Tara's just started listening to the podcast. So she's in the early episodes
Back
where
with the bad levels.
bad levels where
You don't need that in the middle of your head when you're listening it with earphones.
No, that's
well,
true.
I think
Wow.
the issue was she had it on loudspeaker, on silent, or quiet, and then when we start laughing or talking loud, her co-workers go, "Who the you Aussies? Seriously?"
Why are they so quiet
Hey,
and
look,
then so loud?
maybe aftershocks are just so good that they
Yeah.
balance out all those level issues. I don't know. I
They
mean,
would be.
They could be. I've never worn them, so maybe
Well,
if
they
someone wants
could-
to send me a pair for
Well,
free.
they could be
and sponsor the show.
They could be so shit. We'll never know unless Aftershocks sends us 4 pairs.
Yeah.
If only we had an amazing platform to be able to review them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Favourably, of course.
Given that Audio Shocks is clearly in an audio medium, they want people listening to audio things.
Yeah.
And if they want shocks, we are shocking.
Yeah. I'll give you an I'll give you an aftershocker. I mean,
Look, we want free headphones Aftershocks if you going to sponsor us.
yeah.
If
We'll tag them in when we post this episode as well.
not, ugh, gosh. Mailbag empty.
This week's episode of Get Into Geek brought to you by Aftershocks.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, we can do that.
It's time to find out if Rhys has been paying attention.
5 questions on the board for you, Rhys.
You ready?
Ooh, hang
You
on.
ready for this
Oh,
shit?
did you wheel your board in?
Wheel
Wheel in
Oh
the
no, I got
board.
stuck in the door there. What's going
I
on?
know, I had to squeeze past it when I went to the toilet before.
All right. Your time starts after this question.
Okay.
Let me just... I don't know what I'm doing here. Hang on.
Yeah, what else is new?
Just write this down here now. All right. According to Jonas...
Yeah.
Hang on. I f***ed this.
You know.
Why I'm shocked.
You've only got
Alright.
3 questions,
This
don't you?
is so out of character for you, Brendan.
All right. After this one, then. What is the name of the moustache-twirling lord?
Mott.
Correct.
That doesn't actually have a moustache.
According to Jonas, Lord Mott is the Canaanite god of what?
Death.
Correct. Who caused Jonas's precognitive vision?
Nearty.
Correct. What is
Next.
the binary code of Lord Mott's mining planet?
P4S237.
Correct. What type of tumour was in Jonas's brain?
Oh, you piece of... Synchethymorphus.
Oh, you missed out on that one.
Come on, mate. I said how many times?
Maddie said it not.
Astrocytoma.
Astrocytoma is what we're after there.
5 f***ing syllables? You can
Mate.
barely count to 5.
Pay attention and jot it down. That was the whole scene was about an astrocytoma and you couldn't even pick it up.
What the f***? your phone doing over there?
Sorry, it's past midnight, so I can do new things on Pokemon Go, and I didn't realise that.
He's doing
Jesus
that
Christ.
during the podcast.
Can't turn
Classic.
the audio off. It won't let
Like
me.
when you're
I'm
not
on
talking,
vibrate. It says
just
I'm
put
on
your phone on the
vibrate.
microphone.
This is for both of you.
Rhys, your father made you wrong!
Still says just Rhys, but.
Son of a bitch.
Wow, I mean, he personalised it, but
It still says I'm on vibrate. I don't understand.
bet it does.
I'm just so excited for next week, guys. I'm already 2 hards. Just thinking about it.
It's a little firm.
Just thinking. Oh, fully turgid.
Pretty firm.
Got
My
some
dick
blood,
is so hard, it's gone into a full circle.
a few blood vessels pouring down to the old schlonginator, if you know what I mean.
Schlonginator.
Hard enough that you go, oh, we could be on here.
Something could be happening.
Schlonginator.
Nah, I'm not into it. Not in. Oh, hang on. No, maybe I am. Yeah.
Hey, if you're on our Patreon, you get early access to episodes. It's almost like you're having a prophecy.
Ooh, shit.
Oh.
Shit. Yes.
Dang, yeah, nice.
Jump on our Patreon, guys. Patreon.com/Get Into Gate.
I mean, the future will definitely not change. If you hear it early, it won't be different when it's made public to everybody.
Sometimes
Because we're
it's-
not putting in twice the effort for the same episode.
Sometimes we miss a couple of C-bombs and Mitch has to go.
It is different.
edit
It
them back
actually
in.
is different most of the time. When I listen back to it, I go, ooh, that's 3 F-bombs I missed. How
I
about
do.
that?
What I enjoy the most is that Rhys called me in there, but then later on said, "Oh, dang!" Like that's instead of "damn." Like it's.
Oh,
You really
dang's,
care about
dang's just one of my catchphrases.
Wouldn't
It's
have
just
thought
something
so.
I say. Dang.
And there's still time for you to jump onto our Patreon, and then you'll go in the draw to win our Stargate mousepad.
Nice.
When's that getting drawn, Matty?
End of July, end of the month.
In our great rank of season 6.
Yeah, one of the good ranks. Looking forward to it.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think
I'll have to do my list up probably this time.
All right, that's episode 132 of Stargate SG-1,
Jesus.
the penultimate, as some would say.
150
Not
next
everyone.
season, boys.
Episode.
150 next season.
Oh, mate, keep it in your pants.
Can't. 10 hards.
10 hours.
150 yards.
You can check out all of our past 131 episodes of plus specials of Get Into Gate on your favourite podcasting outlet. Hit us up on the socials, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search Get Into Gate, a Stargate podcast. Send us in an off-world activation, a getintogate@gmail.com. If you want to hit us up individually, I mean, if you just want to like chat away from the rest of the guys, you know, just a little bit more intimate
Slip into our
connections.
DMs.
Maybe. At
Not
Mitch
me. I probably won't reply.
_Lewis on Twitter and Instagram.
Because you've
I
got
might
like
not.
3 Instagram accounts.
But, you know,
I will
I
send you a
got
dick
to.
pic if you DM me.
do it.
I can send you a dick pic now if you like.
Where you at, Matty?
At High Pitch Matty.
Your bag fainted.
It's seen
Did
plenty
not
of dick
faint,
pics.
Rhys.
It's weighed down by paper flyouts of dick pics. Because I'm ready to go. Like a brochure. And which is your main of your several accounts, Rhys, that you would like to be contacted on or not?
Well, you can contact me at the Small Dick or at the Flying Gibson.
And best of
Either one.
luck to any other grown man out there that's going to cry his eyes out watching The Lion King.
Won't be
later in
me.
the
I've
week.
seen it.
Yeah, I know what happened.
Better in
Sorry,
the
25
cartoon.
years ago, I'm good.
Better.
I still cry. I watch it the weekend. Still cry. That music gets me. The score. Oh, it's all happening. Oh,
Elton John.
no, before Elton.
It's obviously the Dad, wake up, wake up. That's the cry.
No,
No, we all have to grow up one day, mate.
It's the remember.
Oh no, don't cry about that.
Oh mate, I get goosebumps now.
It's because Mitch's dad is the king.
Get Into Geek.
Banana, squish banana.